Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the 10-star KIZUNA clash against BORSALINO with one team versus all for you guys. Now, this was an absolute doozy to build for. There was a lot of stuff going on, and both of these teams are very reliant, I'm going to say, on an Iron friend captain. I don't believe that they are completely reliant on an Iron friend captain, but obviously, if you guys are doing your regular runs, you do want to try and find Iron friend captains as much as possible. Now, I have put out teams that don't use Iron friend captains. I have put out EXP teams for your assists. You just basically want to clear as much as you possibly can, but when you do put up your own regular runs, just try and use the suicide strat with an Iron friend captain so you guys can maximize your tickets. So, as you guys can see, there is a lot going on for this 10-star KIZUNA. It's probably one of the biggest that we've seen in a very long time, and I know we say it every single time it comes around. This is the worst KIZUNA 10-star that we've seen in a very long time. But make sure you guys are utilizing the suicide strat. Make sure you are coordinating with your alliance, so that way you can do as many assists as possible. So that way you don't have to use your potions, and you can still maximize your box gains from the KIZUNA clash. You do want to make sure you're getting stuff like the, what's his name? The Zeph Skulls to 6+ the new unit. You do want to try and get the KIZUNA insignias, because now 6+ Gear 5 Luffy will be in the shop. And if you guys are missing some 6+ legends, you definitely want to try and get as many of those KIZUNA insignias as possible. But hopefully these teams help you guys out. Shout out to my alliance member Porky for the second team. But if you enjoyed the video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. So, I'm going to dive into the team before we talk about what the actual bosses do. If you guys want to go check it out, the information, I have been scrolling through it, is over on the OPTC Twitter. But the first team looks like this. This is the team that I put together. It utilizes Shanks' crew as our captain with a friend captain Iron. Now, I do believe that this team will still work if you bring an Sabo friend captain. I do have faith that it will work, like I said, with a friend captain, Sabo. I have all the faith in the world that could be the case. But basically, it's led by Shanks' crew. Shanks' crew is going to do so much for this team. Basically, you want to super swap into Shanks every single second turn, and then use the Shanks crew special. Not only is he going to give you 4 turns of a chain lock at 3.75, which you need to be in between 3 and 4.5 for one of the stages, he's going to give you end of turn damage, which will get around resilience on 2 of the stages. He'll give you color affinity moving into the final stage, plus he gives he gets boosted under Iron because he's cerebral as well. You start as the crew, so that way you are a shooter. You get access to the 6 shooter requirement for Iron. Works quite nicely. And then Shanks basically just does the rest from there. He's your color affinity booster, he's a chain locker, he gets around resilience, and he gets around special bind with his captain ability too. So really, really nice stuff with Shanks' crew there. Then we have the rare recruit, Pudding and Sanji. Now, Pudding and Sanji are very interesting on this team because they actually give you 2 turns of a threshold buff when you exceed 3,000. So when you go above 3,000 damage, it drastically reduces it. So you want to utilize this unit on stage 2, especially for the strength variation. So that way, when you take the 200,000 moving into the final stage, it's going to be drastically reduced. On top of that, they give color affinity, so make sure you actually use Shanks' crew first. That's very, very important. But on one of the stages, there's defense up on stage 2. So with the Onami support, you can actually get around this. Now, if you use Iron as a friend captain, you always use Iron stage 2 anyway. Same with Sabo. You'll switch with Sabo. Sabo will give you color affinity as well, but you're going to have Shanks' crew. But Sabo are going to be 3 turns of an orb boost. Iron is going to be a 3-turn orb booster as well, because you can extend it with her super type. Plus, she gives you damage reduction for 3 turns. So the combination of these 2 units are basically going to survive stage 2. If you can always find Iron friend captains, you actually don't need Sanji Pudding on this team at all, which is crazy. However, switch into Sanji and then use their special, and it gives you guys a dex unit, which is actually going to help out for that strength, dex, and quick variation. Shanks' crew is a psi unit, so they help out with a little bit of type advantage on the int variation as well. So that works quite nicely. Next, we got Frankie. Now, Frankie is really only here because of 2 reasons. He gives you an attack boost for shooters, which is going to work quite nicely on the variation where you you get the damage limiter. So basically on the second turn, you can use him to get an attack boost, which is going to be really, really nice. But he also rotates block orbs. Block orbs is going to be quite handy, as there is a stage with block orbs that's a little bit annoying. But he's also going to trigger the interrupt to get the bomb orbs back as well. Or actually, now this might not work now that I'm thinking about it. Because my idea was to use Frankie, and then Jinbei's going to give you recovery orbs. But because Frankie rotates all your orbs, yeah, he rotates orbs randomly, so that's actually not going to work. We need to replace this guy with another Frankie. I believe any Frankie will do. Any Frankie that is quick should work nicely. That can ideally give us some sort of buff. It's a little bit annoying. There's not really a lot of Frankies. What about a Chopper? I believe that it goes on Chopper as well. It's a bit of a bummer. There's not a lot of Choppers either. I guess we can just use this Chopper. Oh, he's not a shooter. That sucks. Very annoying. I believe there's a Chopper Usopp, right? Chopper and Usopp, there they are. So, the idea of using this unit is to basically use Chopper and Usopp on the second half of the strength variation where there's the damage limiter. If there's a delayed enemy, you get an attack and orb boost, which will actually work quite nicely. And then with, well, you get like 3 turns of an attack boost. With the Jinbei support, you're actually going to make the right-hand side recovery, which means you can go through that recovery barrier, which is super annoying. Iron's going to be your bind and your despair remover. She removes bind and despair by 4 turns, and then Whitey Bay turns it into 6. And then she can also remove defense up damage reduction by 6 turns, provided you actually have a damage reduction live. So you actually want to make sure that you either have the Mr. 3 support on the Kuja Pirates, or you're running a friend Captain Iron. So that's the way to go. Finally, the Kuja Pirates, they're going to delay. They're a conditional booster for the strength variation, which is super nice. And it's all going to work out pretty hunky-dory from there. So that's the one team versus all. Ideally, you want to find a friend Captain Iron. That's going to make it a lot easier. And then you can just sort of remove Sanji Pudding. And you can do some other stuff there. Like Sanji Pudding, just remove with like a barrier, remove with like a Kaino or something like that. And that'll work fine. But Porky also put this team together. It utilizes a Sabo with a friend Captain Iron. Very similarly, you want to use a Sabo on stage 2 every single turn. A Sabo are going to be a 3-turn orb booster. Works out quite nicely. You can also get 3 turns of orb from Iron as well. Iron can remove defense up, but she also applies Ignite, which on the final stage for the strength variation, you're going to want to do so that way, not strength, the strength dex and quick, so that way bomb orbs become favorable, which is super nice. With this team, actually, you want to make sure that you use Shanks crew on the final stage when you do get the block orbs. That's my bad. Yeah, you want to make sure you use Shanks crew with the block orbs, otherwise, yeah, you're not going to get the orb rotation, which is a little bit annoying. But it's not the end of the world. Like I said, we do need to test these teams basically once they come out. So I do apologize if the description of these teams is a little bit annoying. But I'll do playthroughs as well. Sanji Pudding, they're also going to be used on stage 2. So that way you can save Iron for the final stage. Bullet on the final stage can get around barriers. He does end of turn damage for resilience. Kuja Pirates delay. They also give an attack boost. And then you have a chain boundary with Kizaru or a chain lock. And then the Kuzan supports remove damage and more damage reduction. You have color affinity with the Lucci support, and this team should work absolute bits as well. So, very, very annoying to team build for this one team versus all. As I said, There's a lot going on and a lot to build for, but if you guys have built something, please let me know in the comment section below. While you're down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Most importantly, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!